Okay, so I was going to make this video a couple of different ways, and then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to shoot it. Listen, I'm not one for making videos with a bunch of graphics and this and that. I'm not a YouTuber, none of that stuff. Here it is. I want people to think. All right, you have your cost of living, you have all of the trappings of what it is to be an American life, and we spend a lot of money on things. And what I want people to do is really decrease their footprint. All the money they spend on, accoutrements and reduce it to the bare minimum, and then divert that money into the things you need to survive. We have a, pandemic. That's what it's called, pandemic. Okay, this is going to give way to another cycle of events. Prior to this pandemic, we had tornadoes and hurricanes and floods and mudslides and earthquakes and forest fires and the like. But now, this bad boy hit home. Because it was always in somebody else's neighborhood. Now, I want you to get it that those of us who consider ourselves people of the way, we understand that this thing is going to give way to another thing. I know y'all don't see my face. You see a tree stump there. Just look at the tree stump. Just look at the stump and listen to what I'm saying. Okay, so divert that money to the supplies and the resources you need. The book of James, the book of Jacob says you have not because you ask not, but then when you ask amiss to spend it on your own lust. So funds come in after you pray, well, Father, I need rice and I need beans and I need this and that. The funds come in and you buy a new car, a new TV, instead of buying the things you need. Now think, there's a learning curve when it comes to surviving, especially if you're coming out of a slave mindset and a slave life that is built on dependence on a society that's established. There's a learning curve to subsistence. There's a learning curve to being free. So you need to take this opportunity, this time, to practice this, to get into the operation of taking care of yourself. Now, it takes you a certain amount of time to learn. It takes you a certain amount of time to retain the information. So some folk are going to have to submit to instructions in the learning curve. The reason being is because you are not going to be prepared on time. Because if it takes you a long time to get it, and you don't have that in the way of time, meaning we don't know when the next big one or the next thing comes, you want to be prepared by that time. So some people are just going to have to submit to instruction. And so that means you're going to have to humble yourself and not get caught up in the trap of arguing and being offended, and just listen to simple instructions, follow the instructions so you can be prepared on time. Now, this is, I'm not trying to, y'all know that I don't do videos or any of that kind of thing, but it's at the point now where some things have to be said quickly so that way folk can move, so we can move, and time is moving way faster than than any of us anticipated. I mean, the reality is that we had plans for this time of the year, this time last year, where we were going to be and what we were going to be doing, and all of that was augmented. Now we have to take a hint, get the hint and say, listen, I need to be getting some ducks in a row. Some people realized they didn't have, ducks in a row, and that's why they had to hurry up and organize some things. And I get it, but you have to realize now you have to move with a level of intentional deliberance. You got to be deliberate rather to get yourself together, because there is a global competition for resources. Now they just did this thing where now they're talking about this 3-phase reopening. Listen to me. If we get a peak in infections following this reopening, you're going to see a rush on resources. So don't relax. Organize your acquisitions. Get them done. Get them done quickly. And if you don't have any kind of idea how to organize it, seek some knowledgeable assistance in that area. Okay, so I'm just this is a nice tree stump, but I just want y'all to hear my voice, and hopefully you'll get it. All right. Shalom.